Alright everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how you can pick your niche, or if you have already picked your niche, maybe I can help you pick a sub niche of yours. So let's get into it. Let's get into why niche selection matters. I'm going to give you some pointers what you should look out for when selecting a niche. And if you're already inside the niche and you're struggling, I'm going to show you some tips on how you can fix and alleviate that problem, as well as some common misconceptions. So let's just get straight into it. So why does it matter in the first place, right? So selecting the right niche is truly one of the most critical decisions you will make inside your business. So well-defined niche allows you to position yourself as an expert rather than a generalist. It reduces your competition by targeting a specific group, and it also simplifies the operation having just one niche, making marketing, sales, everything just more efficient. As well, it's just basically the best niche to pick is the one that you started 3 years ago or 5 years ago, right? So the one that you have the most experience in, right? So it's sort of like the analogy with the tree. What's the best time to plant the tree? It was 20 years ago, but if you haven't done it then, start today, start getting experience so that you can become the best in your niche, right? So just having also just one niche is going to simplify the operation so much. It is going to reduce the operational complexity to basically one. So you just have one website, one funnel, one VSL, one offer, one niche, one product, one service, as opposed to if you have two niches, you're going to have two of everything and you have to multiply that. So you have to juggle between so many things. It's not fun. It's not worth it. You're going to make a lot less money if you do it that way. Focus on one thing, focus in it. For a long time, and you're gonna make a lot of money and you're gonna make a lot of people happy. So without a niche, businesses have no direction. So just core principles to keep in mind, right? So specialists advantage. So think about this analogy as well. So generalists struggle while specialists thrive. So in business especially, expertise commands higher prices as well as it attracts higher quality leads. Also, another thing regarding this is if you have a super specific niche, it is going to attract those that you want to sell to, and it's going to disqualify automatically the people who you don't want to help with. So having a niche, a concrete defined niche, is just going to help you with that. So I'm going to repeat that again. It's just going to attract the people who you want to work with in the first place and detract the ones who you don't. So it's automatically going to pre-qualify them. So if you say you only work with agency owners and some coach comes along, he's automatically disqualified, right? So that's just an example. All right, just going back to it. So a general doctor earns significantly less than a heart surgeon. Why? Because he is specialized in something that has more higher value. A general doctor might just give you a prescription. He might just give you something like a cold medicine, right? For a heart surgeon, that is a life and death changing procedure. If he's specialized in that, he's going to help a lot more people as well as make a lot more money. A freelance marketer competes with thousands, while a Facebook ads expert specifically helping SaaS startups has a well-defined audience and has authority, right? So the thing is, being a specialist makes it easier to build trust, charge premium prices, differentiate yourself from your existing competition. We already talked about this briefly. So the operational complexity, this goes back to the niche as well. So your operation complexity increases exponentially when you have multiple niches. One niche allows you just to stay streamlined in terms of marketing and your sales. You're going to stay efficient in your fulfillment, and it's just going to improve your client experience as well as your retention. So a single niche just makes it simple for everything from lead generation to service delivery, and you're not going to have any problems. You can create some repeatable SOPs for that. All right, so market ecosystem fit. So your business is part of an ecosystem, right? So like any other ecosystem, survival depends on finding a functional role that delivers value. So if you don't have that value, you're going to bleed, you're going to not make it, you're going to be starving. So without, again, this clear purpose, your business will be just run over by your competition. So you need to differentiate yourself. All right, so steps for choosing your profitable niche. So ask yourself these key questions. Does your niche have a clear and urgent problem? Are businesses or individuals actively searching for solutions? Do competitors exist and are they successful? A thriving competition indicates that there is demand and also contrary to popular beliefs. So if there is competition, it's not all bad. It means there's money to be made. It means there's people making money in the niche. Money talks. An example could be, we are in the AgTech niche with our own agency, Cropbridge. There's basically no competitor. So that's actually a criteria that we failed. The reason we went into it is it's actually a blue ocean. Nobody is in it. But there's a reason it's empty, because it's super hard. I don't recommend you to get into it. Not that we're going to get saturated, but I don't recommend you to do it. So if there's a lot of people doing it, it means there's money to be made, right? So make sure you keep that in mind. It doesn't mean that if it's saturated, it's not going to work. Just forget that stuff. People who tell you that, they don't know what they're saying. So essentially, just stick to these core principles. If they have saturation, truly, right? So at least there's money to be made. You can differentiate yourself with a good offer that just positions yourself above theirs. So obviously, if it's saturated, many people have good offers in and of itself to make money, but there's always something you can do. There's always something you can tweak. There's always a unique angle you can take, because most people just copy and paste what others are doing and just hoping it just takes a small cut out of their pockets, right? So don't be one of those people. Let's think of an example, right? So local gyms often struggle with client retention and marketing. A niche offering client retention automations for fitness businesses addresses this clear need. So if you're someone who's looking to solve this issue inside a very competitive industry like gyms, you can still stand out with this offer to this day if it makes sense. All right, step 2. Once you have identified there is demand, you need to evaluate the profitability. So just basically, can they afford your solution? To use this criteria, are businesses in this niche spending money on similar solutions? If they are, okay, go on. Are there successful businesses operating in this space? If there are, okay, go on. Does this niche typically generate consistent revenue streams? If it does, cool, on to the next one. So step 3, assess market growth. So don't want to get into a niche that is actively shrinking. So think of newspaper companies. They're shrinking by 20% annually. So you don't want to get into a niche that is losing that much market value every single year. So you need emerging trends and innovations, like AI is a big thing right now. Growing industries as well. News and finance reports, you can identify them based on these very, very easily. Increased hiring or just increased funding in the niche. So make sure you look for that your niche is growing. There are profitable competitions. There's demand, right, for the service. So there's a clear need. And then just a couple things to keep in mind. So measure accessibility. So niche must be easy to reach as well. So you don't want to make it too hard on yourself. If you're a little bit more advanced and you want something, not a lot of people are picking, like what we're doing, like Cropbridge, we're targeting AgTech companies. It's not easy to reach, right? The market is growing, but there's really not that many competitors out there. They have a clear, issue with not being able to sign new contracts and get funding. So it is there. I'm just saying, if you can tick all these boxes, you're gonna have so much more of an easier time. Like within our example, not all of them stay true, but I'm just saying, if you can follow all these 5 steps, you can tick these boxes, which you'll be able to. There's a tick box at the end. I'm going to give you the document as well for free. It's going to be the first link in the description. There's no opt-in or anything. You can just click it and it's there. Let's just get back into it. So step 4 again is, are there any active communities? Is it easy to reach out? Can you email them? Can you reach out to them via email, social media, cold calling, all of that? Can you acquire decision makers' contact info? Can you contact them? Are they reachable? If niche has a lot of gatekeepers blocking the access, like medical offices screening all outreach, it may be difficult to penetrate. So keep in mind that, right? Step 5, interest and expertise alignment. So your success in the niche depends pretty much entirely on your understanding and communication of the audience. Ask yourself these. Do you have existing knowledge in this industry? So for example, if you're a software developer, why not get into custom software building agencies, right? Or you could help SaaS companies as well, right? So obviously you know what they do, you understand the core principles, you understand the foundations, and you can speak their language. It's very important, right? So can you speak their language and address their pain points effectively? And are you passionate about it? The more passionate you are, the easier it is that you can communicate your solution. And ultimately, the goal is so that you can position yourself as an expert. So you must have the knowledge, you must speak the lingo, and you must have passion. Otherwise, it's going to come off as disingenuous. All right, so just some mistakes you should not be making, so avoid these. So worrying about your competition. A niche with competition is a good sign. It proves there's demand. We already talked about this. Instead of avoiding competition, just focus on positioning yourself uniquely within the niche, like we already discussed. So for example, if Facebook ads for coaches is crowded, narrow down and do something like Facebook ads for fitness coaches specializing in weight loss, right? You could stand out with that. Fear of saturation. So markets don't saturate, weak offers and outdated marketing methods do. So if you innovate and create unique offers, you can stand out among regardless of the competition. So again, let me repeat this. Weak offers and outdated marketing methods saturate, markets don't. All right, so here we go. If you made it this far, I'm going to give you a niche list, which we're going to briefly go about, and the checklist as well, so you can see if your niche is good, if your niche is bad. If you're already inside a niche and if you're struggling, just make sure you go through these, because most likely or not, you don't have these ticked in this selection. So make sure you go through it. If you're just picking your niche, I'm going to give you some examples as well. If you're someone who wants to pick a new niche, there's a document for you as well. So first of all, there are some keystone and there are some general questions. So keystone questions, if they're not true, don't proceed with the niche. So again, does this niche have a painful problem? Is the niche actively growing? Can they afford your high ticket solution? Is there at least 30,000 potential clients? Is there proof of competitors succeeding in this market? If they're not all true, again, like all these fives that we talked about, don't proceed. Just pick something else. And finally, just ask these general questions. This is more of a personal thing, right? So at least have 70% true. So at least have like 4 of them true. Do you find this niche interesting? Is it easy to contact the decision makers? Can you deliver your service or solution with low operational complexity? Does the niche engage online, social media? Can your marketing message stand out from your competitors, and can you reach the decision maker? Can you create unique offers with high value propositions for this niche? If you can answer 4 of these and all of them, you're good to go. You know, the more, the better, right? So if you can answer all of these, it's perfect. At least have 4 of these ticked and all of these above. All right, so just some tips on how to do research as well into a specific niche once you pick something. What keeps your target audience at night? You have to understand, like, you need to do thorough research. You need to exactly know what they're worried about, what keeps them awake at night. Where do they currently seek their solution for their current problems? What objections and fears prevent them from taking action on fixing those problems? What words and phrases do they use to describe their problems? So some tips on how you should do research. You can look at surveys, you can look at interviews, you can look at competitors as well, industry reports as well, and communities. So you can join communities, or just a whole, I recommend like a combination of all of them. That's the best way you can like gauge the niche and exactly like the market, how it is at the moment, and how you can answer these questions. All right, and some final thoughts, picking the right niche. Just to quickly sum up, you're not married to your niche forever, but consistency is key. So again, if you're really struggling for a while, consider if, obviously if it doesn't make sense for you within like this checklist, just change, right? So if you have these ticked and if you're not seeing results, just be patient. If you've been in this niche, you don't see results, and like the keystone general are not ticked like complete, like all the way through, consider picking a new niche, right? So avoid picking 2 niches as well. We talked about this because of complexity, operational complexity. The more specific the niche, the better positioning you can have, right? Decide quickly. Action is more important than endless deliberation. Obviously, this is a big decision and you should stick with this for years. So make sure you do your research. A well-chosen niche provides clarity, focus, and scalability, allowing you to build a predictable and profitable business model. So to get started, you have a concrete idea as what others are doing. Here is a niche list I've compiled for you, ranked them on characteristics and just a few more statistics. They're not in any particular order. And again, if you want access to this file as well, I'm going to link this main niche selection folder at the first link in the description. So if you want that, there's no opt-in, nothing like that. Just click that link and it's just going to bring you to this page. absolutely for free. So just make sure to take these, make sure to create a copy of it if you need to save it for later. And I've saved, I think, like over 66 pages of niches, right? Let's take this one, right? 3 services, right? I've given the average salary, difficulty, as well as some criteria. So if it's unsaturated, big industry, high ticket. And I've given some outreach strategies as well on how you can reach out to them, my experience, and some personal insights that I've gathered from seeing people in the niche or others just being in a niche general. There's just some tips as well. And finally, just a verdict on I recommend it or not. So just make sure to scroll through. As you can see, there's a lot of B2C, a lot of B2B. And yeah, this should give you like a really solid idea on what niche to pick. So if you're lost, just pick one of these. Most of them I've listed are good to start off with. Really, there's no niche in here that doesn't work. All right, so with that in mind, I'm going to link this again in the description. It's going to be the first link. And if you need help in implementing this, you can click the second link in the description below. You can schedule a call with me. We can talk about it. And I'm going to help you out. And I'm going to show you how you should pick your niche. With that in mind, I'm going to see you in the next one. This was Sabo.